Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating animated folktale to see exactly how agricultural science and a heavy dose of empathy completely dismantled an ancient, terrifying curse. It's an incredible look at how deep-rooted superstitions are, very often just simple misunderstandings just waiting for a scientific lens to clear them up.
Now, we're doing things a bit differently today. We're actually skipping the traditional agenda to jump straight into a burning mystery from our source material, because it really sets the stage for our entire story. I want you to keep this question right in the back of your mind as we go. How does a simple piece of hollow bamboo conquer a mythical curse? Well, let's find out.
All right, part one, the cursed jungle.
Our source material paints a picture of a village gripped by absolute paralyzing fear. Get this. In just 3 months, 5 people have vanished without a trace into the nearby jungle. The locals actually believe the jungle is literally swallowing them whole. Nobody, and I mean nobody, dares to step foot near the tree line after 6 p.m. But there's a massive catch. Local legend says that right smack in the middle of this cursed forest stands a magical Brahma tree, and buried in its roots, a divine herb that is rumored to bring a dying man back to life. So you have this incredible push and pull going on, right? Pure paralyzing fear on one side, and the ultimate life-saving cure on the other. Which brings us to part 2, a desperate quest.
Okay, so here's where the emotional stakes get really high. Enter Anand. He's an agricultural scientist who has just come back to his village from the big city. Now, the locals are kind of skeptical of him at first. They think he's just some city boy coming back to show off. But Anand doesn't care about that. His only priority is his childhood best friend, Mohan. And Mohan is facing a completely terrifying medical emergency. He's been hit with an advanced fatal lung infection. The local doctor has literally just thrown his hands up saying it's too late, the infection has spread way too far, and no modern medicine can help him now. With zero medical solutions left on the table, Anand makes the desperate, incredibly brave choice. He decides to walk into that forbidden jungle entirely alone to find that mythical herb.
Moving into Section 3, the tribe's dark tradition.
This is where the story takes a massive left turn. It goes from a simple rescue mission straight into a complex hostage situation. Arnand actually reaches the center of the jungle and finds the Brahma tree. But just as he reaches out to take the leaves, he hears a noise coming from a nearby cave. He peeks inside, and what does he find? All the missing villagers. But they aren't victims of some magical monster. They are actually captives of a local forest tribe. And the most shocking detail of all, every single one of them is missing their right thumb. It turns out the tribe demands a brutal thumb tax from any outsider trying to take the tree's herbs, and then forces them into manual labor grinding spices. No way, right? Now, it's super easy to just label the tribe as the bad guys here, but the source material provides a deeply tragic backstory. Let's trace back the events. Decades ago, greedy merchants came into this jungle and basically tricked the innocent ancestors of the tribe. They got them to put their thumbprints on paper contracts to steal their land. The tribe was literally on the verge of losing everything and becoming homeless. According to tribal legend, the Brahma tree heard their cries, and a magical flash of light severed the thumb of the greedy merchant. Since that fateful day, the tribe instituted a strict rule: no outsider ever leaves with their thumb. So you see, this dark tradition wasn't born out of pure malice. It's generational trauma. It was a desperate defense mechanism to protect their home from being exploited again.
So put yourself in Anand's shoes. You are surrounded, faced with a tribal chief who is demanding your thumb. Do you fight? Do you panic? Well, Anand does something totally remarkable. He uses empathy. He literally just sits and listens to the chief's story. He explicitly acknowledges that the past exploitation by those traders was entirely wrong. He validates their historical pain, but, and here is the turning point, he gently argues that punishing innocent people today for the sins of the past is completely unjust. By understanding their feelings and framing their tradition not as evil, but as a misguided, superstition-fueled defense mechanism, Anand manages to open up a tiny, tiny window for dialogue.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 4, Science Saves the Tree.
This part is absolutely crucial. The whole climax of the story pivots entirely on the scientific method, not magic. You see, the tribe is in an absolute panic because their sacred Brahma tree is suddenly dying. The leaves are turning yellow and falling off. The tribe's belief? They think the tree is angry because they didn't chop off Anand's thumb right away. They think it's demanding a blood sacrifice. But look at Anand's approach. As an agricultural scientist, he just calmly observes the environment. he notices the tribe had recently built a massive, heavy concrete and stone platform all the way around the base of the tree to protect it. Anan realizes in an instant, this isn't a curse. The concrete is literally suffocating the tree's roots. It's cutting off all the air and water. So he asks the tribal chief for just one single chance to prove the tree isn't cursed. And here is his step-by-step scientific intervention. First, he immediately breaks apart that tight concrete platform so the soil can actually breathe. Second, he asks the tribesmen to cut down some hollow bamboo sticks. Third, he buries those bamboo pipes deep into the ground right near the roots and uses them to channel water directly from a nearby waterfall. He essentially creates a local desi drip irrigation system right there on the spot. He tells the tribe, just keep the roots moist and let nature do the rest. And guess what? The science absolutely works. After a few days, the tribe wakes up to a total miracle. Or, well, actually scratch that. They wake up to botany in action. The dry branches of the Brahma tree sprout tiny, fresh green leaves. The tree is completely revived. The tribal chief finally realizes that Anand was right all along. The tree wasn't demanding blood, it was literally just thirsty. The quote-unquote curse is broken. Overcome with gratitude, the chief declares Anand the savior of the tribe, hands over the divine herb, and agrees to release every single captive villager. Anand rushes the herb back home, and Mohan's life is miraculously saved.
Finally, we hit Section 5, the Jungle Daba.
The best part is, Anand doesn't just grab the herb and run. He proposes a brilliant business idea to bring everyone together. He suggests that instead of fighting, the village and the tribe should collaborate. And the result? The Jungle Daba, a vibrant local roadside restaurant built right on the border of the forest. The mutual benefits here are just incredible, a real win-win-win. Mohan is totally cured and is now happily employed serving food at the Daba. The tribe, who used to violently guard their forest, are now legally and safely selling their amazing, pure spices to the restaurant, driving real economic growth for their people. And the village? They finally have safe access to the forest, plus they get to enjoy incredible food. Shared commerce and scientific understanding completely wiped out centuries of fear and hostility.
So, we've just seen how Anand took his very specific knowledge of agriculture and used it not just to save a dying tree, but to heal deep historical wounds between two completely divided communities. Remember, it wasn't magic that saved the day, it was careful observation, a lot of empathy, and a few hollow bamboo sticks. I want to leave you with this to chew on. Anand used his specific education to clear up a deadly misunderstanding. When you look at your own life, how can you use your unique skills and your empathy to solve misunderstandings in your world today? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll catch you on the next one.